me for girls' night out while I tell you about the worst day I've ever been on in New York. So a few months back, I get a random DM from this NFL player, which honestly, I kind of wrote it off because I was like, he's young, he's an athlete, he'll probably be horrible. But we start messaging back and forth, and he was actually very polite and attentive and immediately set up a date with me to go to a steakhouse in New York. The day the date comes, he confirmed the date the day before and the day of. He was checking in a lot, making sure I was still okay on the time that we decided. So then it gets later on in the night, I'm getting ready, I'm all excited, and I get a random FaceTime from this guy. Sort of immediately when I answer the FaceTime, I can kind of tell that like his vibe was a little different than it had been before. He was just being a lot more short and less polite than he had been before. And pretty much immediately, he's like, show me your outfit for tonight. So I'm like, okay. I show him the outfit, and then I can see him looking at my face when I turn the camera back around. And he's like, your lipstick looks terrible. You need to take that shit off. So obviously I'm pretty shocked. I'm like, what do you mean? And he's like, that shit looks terrible. I don't know why girls do that. Your lipstick looks brown. I'll put a picture of the lipstick at the end so you guys can see. It was a normal nude pink lipstick. I love that lipstick. I'm wearing it for years. He even went as far as to say that if he was going to be seen in public with me, that he should get to have a say in what I was going to look like while I was in public with him. So at this point, I'm kind of pissed, and I was like, okay, well, you don't like my lipstick, I don't really like your jewelry, but I wasn't gonna say that. And he looks me dead in the eye and goes, well, it probably costs more than you make in a year. So I'm like, well, if my lipstick's this big of an issue, then we don't really need to go to dinner. And he's like, that's fine, I only even asked you to go because I didn't want to go alone. And then he tells me that, you know how we were supposed to go for a walk in the park after dinner? Well, I'm gonna go out with my friends now instead. And I'm like, wait, are you telling me that because you don't like my lipstick, you're gonna leave dinner and go out with your friends instead of hang out with me? And he's like, yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. I know I should have not gone. You guys don't have to tell me. I know I'm an idiot for still going. But I was completely ready. I was just about to call my Uber, and I was like, whatever, this will be good for the plot. We go sit down for dinner, and he's honestly being rude again. He's sitting on his phone. He hardly looked at me the entire first 15 minutes we were there. Hardly looked at the waitress when she spoke to him, which honestly this didn't help either. The waitress figured out who he was and was basically obsessing over him the entire meal, which the last thing that guy needed was his ego inflated anymore. This part's just kind of funny, and normally I'd feel bad for him, but he was so rude the entire rest of the time that I kind of lost sympathy. He had like a violent allergy attack during dinner and could not stop sneezing. I'm not exaggerating, this guy sneezed during dinner at least 20 times, probably more. And mind you, he's an athlete, so he's a huge guy. These sneezes are almost blowing me out of the booth. I'm like bracing myself every time this guy goes to sneeze. So after that, in between his violent sneezing, basically just talked a lot about how he was going to be the greatest defensive end in the entire world, and then tells me that he's changed his mind. If I want, we can still go to the park, but I will have to go back to his hotel room with him so that he can shower and change first because he thinks that would help his sneezing. Needless to say, I obviously did not go back to that guy's hotel room. I told him I'm a lawyer. I told him I had an early deposition the next morning, and we engaged in a very awkward side hug, and that was the end of that. And I'm doing my lipstick, so I just remembered. I forgot to say earlier that I did wipe off the lipstick that he hated when I decided to go on the date. Which again, I know I'm an idiot, but I figured why sit there with lipstick on? This guy's just gonna roast me about the entire 2 hours, so whatever, lesson learned, I will not do that again. On a brighter note, I'm getting ready to go to Lore Fish Bar in Little Sister, New York with 2 of my friends. I'm gonna show you guys my outfit in the next video. Bye!